Hi, everybody. Just wanted to spend a little time and talk to you about our health. So, first of all, I just wanted to thank you all for the time to show up tonight. I know everybody's quite busy Friday night, so I appreciate you popping in and having some time with me. And so, how many people here have ever thought that they wanted to be a little bit healthier? They just thought that it would be good if they had some more health. Well, I am just like you. Um, I've always been a healthy person. I go for runs, I did yoga, but I found myself about 6 years after my daughter was born, probably about 25 pounds overweight. And I just didn't get rid of the baby weight. So part of me thought that I just must be eating too much if I'm doing all this activity and I'm not losing the weight. So what I did was I decided that I wasn't going to eat after 5:30 at night, and I was going to eat on a bread plate instead of a dinner plate, and I was going to use the baby utensils from when my child was little. The reason I came to this realization is because I've been scoffing my food and eating so fast that I wouldn't even taste what I was eating, and then I'd have seconds. And I went to my book club and I realized that all the ladies there were just taking their time. There's no need to rush, taking little bites. Oh, what was that like? Chewing and tasting their food, and that's me eating like I was never going to have food again. And so I decided that I would just, the kids aren't that young anymore. I can take time to taste my food. And so I discovered that my husband would eat his whole dinner plate all heaped up, and I'm still working with the baby utensils, tasting, chewing, savoring every bite, and still had what looked like a full plate. That worked really well. I don't know how long it took me, but I lost 25 pounds and I managed to keep it off for 8 years. It was awesome. And so I thought that was good, portion control. And so fast forward about 3 years ago, I had hip surgery and I was out of commission for about 5 months. So sitting on my bottom and not really getting to work out or anything, it crept on about 15 pounds, which I was upset about. I had kept it off for all these years. And so I had a harder time getting rid of it, I think, because instead of being 42, I was now 50. And I wasn't prepared to believe that this was because of being an older woman. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. And I did a course that really helped me to switch gears. And I have been vegan for many years. I've always not eaten non-foods or non-functional foods, like I never drank soda, didn't really go to McDonald's. So to be an oil-free vegan and still having extra weight on was disturbing. And like I said, I wasn't willing to decide it was because I was a woman or a certain age. So the program that I was in sort of was a psychological thing, like what is it in you that makes you want to eat non-functional foods? One of the things that it started with was simply breathing. Now, I don't know about you, but how many people actually take time to breathe every day? No? Let's do one together. Right there, you relax. It's amazing how just a deep breath, and if you're stressed, you actually naturally just breathe. Like, think about a stressful situation. The first thing you do is, and so I just discovered at my body sculpting class on Tuesday that cancer cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. I mean, think about that. If there was oxygen all through your body, cancer could not live there. I actually Googled it because I didn't believe it, and it turns out to be quite true. So I put an alarm on my phone 5 times a day. It says breathe. And do you know what I do at 11:30 when it says breathe? Don't have time to breathe right now. And I ignore it. I'm like, really? How can you not have time to breathe? How stressed am I that I can't just go and breathe? I think everybody should just take another breath right now. Think about all the energy that you can feel in your body. It's kind of coursing through you right now. You can just feel all that fresh air and then blowing out all of the toxins and bad air, we'll call it. So I discovered that simply by 5 times in the morning and 5 times at night, taking a deep breath, and then kind of moving that up to a couple of more times during the day, I was able to release some weight, which is kind of amazing that you can think that just breathing can release some weight. What happens is your body needs oxygen to metabolize fat. It also needs water. And I'm kind of like a camel, never really drunk a lot of water. And so that was kind of detrimental because we need water to survive. We're 70% water. And so if you don't have enough water in your system, you can't process. Now, some people feel that in the beginning, it's hard and you just have it run right through you and you'll go to the bathroom every 5 minutes. Well, once your body gets trained that this water is going to stay in your system and that you won't, that it can be used, it's not just flushing through and just this one off, then you'll find that your body's more hydrated, your skin's going to start glowing, you're going to feel great. And again, you're going to be able to metabolize more fat because you need to have water in order to metabolize fat. So I was able to get that 15 pounds off, and I did some other tweakings of my diet, removing grains and different things like that, not having any sugar, which is huge. And so what I want to say to you is that, did you realize, yes or no, that every moment in your life, you're making a choice. You're making a choice to do something positive for your body or to do something negative for your body. Let's just use the example of soda. If you decide to pop a Coke right now, are you making a healthy choice for your body? Now, some people will say, oh yes, because it doesn't have any calories. I'll maintain that it's even worse than having a regular Coke with sugar in. Your body knows what to do with sugar. It's probably not happy to have sugar because it thinks winter's coming. But if you drink a soda with sugar in, your body knows what to do with it, processes it, out it goes. If you drink soda with one of those other things in there, aspartame, which was originally discovered and used as ant poison, your body doesn't know what to do with that. So it says, okay, put it in the left hip because we don't want it near our internal organs. It's a toxin. We don't know how to get rid of it. And so your body starts storing all this fat with toxins in and doesn't want to get rid of it because then it's in your body and it doesn't know what to do. Many people don't detox. Detox should be a regular, I think, thing you do at least monthly to sort of flush out what's going on. Even though I eat quite healthy, I'm getting stuff from the environment when the trucks are belching their, exhaust fumes at me, or, somebody's smoking in my environment and, you can't help it. And my husband's working on the car and it's like fumes from the compressor and stuff. And so you definitely want to make sure that you get rid of toxins on a regular basis. So, obviously, if you drink something that's full of sugar, that's not as good a choice as if you choose to drink some water, which again, your body is made up of 70% water. So you need to have water just to function. And so you can tell if you're dehydrated. A lot of times it will mask itself as hunger because our body thinks that we get our liquid from food, because back a long time ago, we didn't have water with us. We didn't have our little water bottles. You had to wander upon the stream and hope for the best. And certainly you didn't carry it back to camp because it was pretty heavy and you didn't carry it in. So you'd be scoffing up the water all at once. And you'd be like all bloated. And that's why our belly has the opportunity to expand, because you might just come along a fig tree that's completely in bloom and you can eat every fig on that tree because you're not going to see it again. And so what ends up happening for us is food's on every corner. So we get bloated and extended every day at every meal because we don't know when to stop. We don't listen to our body and say, I'm not hungry now, I'm good. You know, we want to be full. Oh, look at that turkey dinner, I feel great, stuff. And then you go have a coma, you go have sleep to sleep it off. The reason is because digestion takes a lot of energy. And so if you're going to have to process all that food and move it through your system, your body needs to shut down things like your brain. That's why you get the brain fog. It says, okay, I don't have time to deal with the brain right now. I got to get rid of all this food. And so I've learned quite a lot about nutrition and keeping ourselves healthy. So if you decide today that you want to take a step in the right direction for your health, I'm going to suggest that one of the things you do is to, in the morning, take a full breath and release it. One, it's going to feel terrific. And two, you're going to get all the oxygen your body needs to stave off cancer. Now, again, I'm going to recommend you start your day with a glass of water. And throughout the day, if you keep water with you and just take little sips throughout the day, then you're not pounding your bladder with huge amounts of water. And so for me, that alone released a couple of pounds just by breathing and drinking. And again, I'm going to suggest that eating non-functional foods is not as detrimental to your health as the neglect of eating healthy foods. And so, you know, how many pieces of fruit are you eating a day? How many vegetables and salads are you eating throughout the day? You know, are you having a big slab of meat for dinner, or are you just having the size of your palm like they suggest? Are you eating lean proteins versus fatty proteins? And so if you're attached to something, like you really got to have, I don't know, donut, something, whatever it is that really feels like you need to have it, why is that? Examine what it is. Is it somewhere in the back of your mind you were really good when you got to have an ice cream cone, and so you treat yourself to an ice cream cone every day because it makes you feel like when you were a kid and that you did something well, and it's a reward? Do you come home at the end of the day and just say, okay, I need to have a drink. That day was awful, or that day was awesome. I mean, why is it that you are doing this to yourself? And again, if you're treating yourself to a bottle of wine at night, are you treating yourself good, or are you treating yourself badly? Okay, so it's your life. And I like to think of my body as a temple as opposed to a woodshed, because this is the only place I have to live. If I treat it poorly, it's not going to be happy, and I'm going to be miserable. I mean, I don't know, you know, if you think of it along these lines, but I mean, money is a great thing to have, but you know, it doesn't do you any good if you don't have your health. And I think of Steve Jobs, pretty rich kind of guy, but he's no longer with us because his body was not as healthy as it could be. Now, I'm not saying there's anything he could do about his condition. That's totally his life and what he did. I'm just saying, for me and for you, you need to make a decision. Do you have unhealthy habits? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you eat to excess? Do you binge eat at night? And how do you feel about it afterwards? Do you feel great and happy and healthy and you got all this exercise and energy? Or are you feeling exhausted and sleepy and falling asleep on the couch at 9 o'clock at night during your shows? I mean, you need to think about your life. This is your life. Today is your life. I don't know why that seemed so profound to me the first time I heard it. But like, what am I waiting for? I'm not going to be happy tomorrow. What if tomorrow never comes? What if I die in my sleep tonight? And then I didn't spend today being happy. So when I realized this, I kind of spent, some time thinking about what that meant. And so for every minute I am not happy and thrilled and excited and happy today, right this minute, and I'm angry and upset or worried, that's 1 minute of my life I spent worried and not happy. And when you think about the grand scheme of things, our life, even if it's 100 years, is a minute amount on that scale. And I want to make a dent in the universe. I want to be here with a purpose. I feel that I've been brought here for a reason, and I'm not sure what that reason is. It could be to bring two phenomenal human beings into this planet and make the world a better place. It could be the fact that I've taught deaf children for 30 years. It could be that just one person is watching this tonight and they decide to take that step into their moment where they decide that, that Debbie Holden, she said that this Coke wasn't a good idea. Let me have a drink of water. And that starts them down the journey into a healthier life. And then that has a knock-on effect to the next person and the next person. So it's really important that you think about, this is your life and you're a role model, not just to your kids and to your family, but to everybody around you. When somebody looks at you, they look you over and they say, is that what I want? Do I want to get to know that person? Is that the look I'm looking for? I know that sometimes I look at people and I say, what are they thinking? What are they thinking? Are they seriously thinking that that is going to be a benefit to them? I mean, it's not their fault. Their body has in it the desire to survive. And we have this, if you see food, eat it, in our body, because back in the day, there wasn't food all the time. And if you saw food, you had to eat it or you wouldn't survive to pass your genes along. And so it's not their fault necessarily, but when you step on that scale and it's going like that, wing, 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 or you're putting your clothes on and you can't get them up, something's got to give. I see people, and week after week, year after year, they're bigger than the last time I saw them. And I'm like, you must be buying clothes every 6 months. How is it possible? And I don't think that there's a way they don't understand. There's a connection between what they're putting in their mouth and what's going on their body. Because we all know, you can just turn on the TV and they're going to tell you that fat causes heart disease. Now we all know it's sugar that causes heart disease because the sugar industry paid some Harvard researchers to blame it on fat in the 60s. And so fats are good for you. Obviously, not bad fats, but kind of from avocados and nuts and seeds and healthy fats. And so we have to think about where we're going. And when you see, as a country, more and more and more people are obese in our country, and I think to myself, this is America, okay? You're looking at me maybe from another country, but I'm in America, so I'm just going to speak specifically about Americans getting bigger every year. And the children are getting bigger every year. And in a way, I feel like that's really not a way to pay for the future. And I kind of feel like if you are an unhealthy adult and you've passed that on to your child, what kind of legacy have you left for them? What's going to happen? What kind of future do they have when they are already obese before they hit puberty? And it's not healthy for them, the environment, the healthcare system. So we owe it to ourselves and to the future to take better care of ourselves. And there's so many simple little steps, and we all know what they are. We all know what they are. Don't eat late at night because it just sits on your body, and then you can't sleep because your body is doing all that digestion thing and not being able to rest and repair. Take a few more walks. Park your car at the far end. We all know that. Who does it? Today it was raining. I didn't park in the furthest spot. I parked halfway. I didn't park in the closest spot. But I don't like getting wet. And I have an umbrella. But anyway, bad choice. I should have parked far away. But I was also in a rush, so That's no excuse, but that's what I did. So I'm not perfect. I'm speaking to myself as well as to everybody out there in Facebook land. So think about the choices that you make. Think about today. What choice can I make today? If you were planning on having an ice cream sundae at midnight, maybe you have one scoop less, or maybe you just don't have any at all. Think about when you have a family member or somebody coming to visit you. Do you want to have all these treats around? I mean, I think about, what was a treat for us when we were kids? Going into grandma's house and getting the lid off of her candy jar and taking some M&Ms. We all know now that that's not a treat, right? There should be a fruit bowl so that you can have some healthy foods. So every time you make a choice, every day, there's a chance to hit the reset button. And every morning, if you're lucky enough to get up, you can hit the reset button. Today's the day. I'm going to have more checks than X's. I'm going to make more good decisions than bad. Do you decide to go to the gym, or you decide to sleep in? Do you decide to take an extra drink of water, or do you decide to have another glass of wine? By the way, if you're going to drink wine, make sure you have as much water afterwards to process the alcohol so you don't wake up with a hangover. I wouldn't know about that from personal experience, but that's what I hear. There's so many things out there, and you all know that you want more health, but it's simple. It's a simple fix, but whatever's easy to do is also easy not to do. And so if you commit today to do one thing for your health, and then tomorrow you commit to do that same thing and one additional thing, have a guess. Have a guess at the state you will be in 1 year from today. Well, if you do the math, doing just one thing today is 0.03%. And tomorrow, when you add a second thing, it will be 0.06%. At the end of the year, 1 year, you will have 100% transformation. Now, I started this. Now, at the time, I could probably do a couple of push-ups, 10 or so. But I started on my birthday a few years back, and I did one push-up. Felt really stupid. That was the only exercise I did all day, and I probably could have done 10, but I just did the one. And the next day, 2 push-ups. At the end of the month, I was doing 30 push-ups, and I decided that now I would do a squat. So I do 30 push-ups and a squat, and then the next day 2 squats. Of course, at the end of the month, I was doing 30 push-ups and 30 squats. And then the next month, I did a lunge. And then I ended up doing 30 push-ups, 30 squats, 30 lunges. I ended up doing 30 wall squats with the ball at the back, so that really gives you extra pressure on your legs. By the end of 6 months, I was doing a huge amount of activity. Of course, I chose to do it right before I went to bed, so I could get to bed for like a half hour for all this exercise I was doing. But you get the point. It's one thing. Today, it's 1 glass of water. Tomorrow, it's 2. Before you know it, in a week, you'll be drinking 64 ounces of water. You can have a little bell on your phone that says, ding, drink your water. And if you set up the little water bottles, or even I have 4 16-ounce bottles, and I just carry it around with me and take a sip wherever I go. Before you know it, you've done 4, and now you've got the extra one just in case you're still thirsty, and you have 5. And now your body is actually processing the way it should do. I don't want to go a little TMI here, but in the past, it looked like, wow, something's wrong with me. It was pretty colorful. And now I can't even tell that I've gone, even though I've gone a lot. I have drank a lot. And so you can tell the system is working great. So it's important for you to remember you need water, you need air. So maybe that's the first month. Maybe the first month is 1 healthy breath today, 2 healthy breaths tomorrow, At the end of a month, you'll have 30 breaths a day. Okay? And then you can start with the water. I suggest you do both. Start with a glass of water and some healthy breaths. And then you can start to say, hey, I'm drinking all this water. I can do one less alcoholic drink or Coke or something with colors and chemicals and all sorts of garbage in it. And then the next step can be a sit-up, a push-up, a lunge, a weight for your biceps or triceps, yeah? And you're going to start to see results. People are going to start to see results. When I recently lost that 15 pounds, I got back to the shape I had before the children, and apparently my face looked thinner, and everybody noticed. They were saying, oh my gosh, what did you do? You look great. And so I feel it's important to keep your body the way it was meant to be. I was going to title this talk, Bring Back Your Health, because as a baby, we are born healthy, and your body actually wants to be healthy. It's desiring to get back to where it belongs. It doesn't want to carry that extra weight around. Think about it. From a survival point of view, having that fat to lug around is a drain on the body's system. It doesn't want to use all that energy. So it's important for you to bring back your health to a state that your body is happy to be in. And so you can absolutely do this. It's definitely something that you need to make a choice about, though, because it's not going to happen on its own. I mean, you don't mean it. It doesn't happen on purpose. You don't consciously say, let me see if I can give myself some cancer today. I think I'll have some burgers that have been burnt a little, get some carcinogens in there. I'm going to get some of that aspartame because ant poison is always great. I'm going to expose myself to all kinds of toxic fumes from some plant that's belching out plastics or whatever it's making. And I'm not going to get any sleep. I'm certainly not going to drink any water or eat any fruit and vegetables. I'm going to smoke, I'm going to drink, and I'm just going to party it up. No, it's just what happens. One thing leads to another. One bad choice begets another. You think, oh, well, the day's trashed. So, I already had something I shouldn't have had. So I just might as well cop it in and spend the day eating all sorts of junk. No, every moment that you think about, oh, I should have made that choice. The next choice I'll make better. And I want to recommend to you that you get a little checkerboard there. Maybe you just get graph paper and you put the date on it, and across the top, you can number it if you like. And when you're conscious of it, just keep it around with you. And if you choose the glass of water, give yourself a check. If you choose to have the glass of soda, give yourself an X. You'll know, you're going to start being more aware of it. You'll know, hey, I just drank the soda and I forgot to think about it, X, because you're conscious of the fact that you ate something you shouldn't have had. And then if you're about to drink the soda or pour the soda, you say, wait a minute, I want to get a check today. And you go to the sink and you get some tap water. You drink that instead. Hey, I've got a check. See if you can get a string of checks. First day you got one check. Yay, I've got a check. The next day I've got 2 checks. Maybe you can get 3. Maybe you can get a string of checks. Maybe you can actually get all checks. Can you actually get a day where every time you were faced with good choice, bad choice, angel, devil, I chose the good choice. I chose to do something for me. Now, I say you're doing it for you, but you're not really doing it for you. You know who you're doing it for? You're doing it for them, your family, because you love them and they love you. And they don't want to see you suffering. They don't want to see you in hospital. They don't want to see you with all tubes going around. They don't want you to die instantly from a heart attack. No. They want you to be around forever. I know because my parents are going to be 80 in a few months. I know I said it. Don't tell them I said it though. But if you looked at them, they look like this. When they were 57, they retired and they were, fit and healthy. They do Zumba every week. They volunteer at the hospital. They do literacy programs for adults. My dad plays drums at his church. My mom goes to bingo. They don't drink. They don't smoke. They're healthy. They can do anything. They're physically active. And no one would accuse them of being 80. I'm sure nobody would even think they were 60. Seriously. And so I know that as they creep older, something may happen to them, but I don't want anything to happen to them. I want them to be around forever. And so they're making good choices so that their genes have as much chance to stay as long as possible as humanly possible. Now, my dad was 55 when his grandmother died at 100. And she died at 100 because she wanted to be 100. When she was 93, she broke one hip. She was dancing at my sister's wedding later that year. When she was 95, she broke the other hip. She started walking with the walker. When she was 100, when she was 99, she got shingles. But she just wanted to be 100. So I know I have good genes in me. And I plan to be 125. I figure I'm going to break the record. Because if I don't break the record, who is? I have the genes in me. I have the desire. I don't know how many people I meet. They say, I don't want to live that long because I'll be a mess. And I'm like, no. You're going to be just like this. I'm going to stay just like this. I have my parents to prove it. They haven't slowed down at all. I mean, they don't even look older, which is phenomenal. And so if you could be guaranteed to be healthy and strong, mentally intact, physically healthy and full of energy, why wouldn't you want to be here to see your children grow up and your grandchildren? I don't know. I do. And so I plan to someday donate every single part of me, my skin, my eyes, everything. Of course, they'll probably be a little too old for anybody, but I want to recycle and make the planet a better place. And I think that if people were to be healthier, it would be easier on the planet. It would be easier on the families. They don't have to see their loved ones suffer. And so I would love for you to post in the comments if you've decided to make choices to be healthy, if you've decided to use the little graph paper and check and X throughout your day. I would love it if you could comment below on 2 things that you enjoyed or learned from the presentation that I spoke of tonight, and 1 opportunity for me to be better. So I would love to improve and get you some more information about things that can improve your health. So remember, baby steps. Do a squat, do a push-up, do a sit-up, drink some more water, take a breath. Don't do it all at once. Start with one thing for one day, and the next day add something else. And believe it or not, at the end of a year, you will be transformed and your body will feel better. You'll be sleeping better. You'll be able to help your family. You'll be proud of yourself. You'll be able to pass it on. It'll be a little secret, right? Just between you and me. What was your secret? It was simple. It was easy. I was able to do it like that because it was a baby step. I'm not saying tomorrow wake up and you're going to be an oil-free vegan who doesn't eat grains and you're going to do, body sculpting classes and Zumba classes and park at the furthest end of the thing and drink all your water every day and breathe. No, it's not going to happen. But if you take the baby steps, you can do it. I'm here with you. I'm your friend. And remember that love is the answer. Life, I'm loving every minute of it. And so I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time and have a good night. Bye.